start out by telling you a little bit about myself. And one thing is, I was raised in church. I'm a church kid, and I've always really considered myself a Christian. I actually grew up going to a church down in Adamsville. My whole family went there since the beginning of the church started, and I went there my entire life until God called me and my family to come here to Highlands. And actually, a year ago today is the day that I started the growth track. So that's one thing about me. So like I said, I'm a church kid, and I've always considered myself a Christian, but there was a time in my life, right around before I turned 15, where I was really depressed, and I was in this pit of confusion, and I was really lost. And I'm a very energetic person. I'm very extroverted. Whenever I'm around people, I get really pumped up and bubbly. But I remember during this season in my life, anytime that I wasn't talking, I was battling some thought in my head. Some thought of self-doubt, or condemnation, or guilt, or shame, or insecurity. And the hardest and most confusing part was that I knew that God was the answer. I knew that, well, hey, if I spend time with Him every morning, then maybe my life will get better. And so that's what I do. I would make myself wake up way too early, and I would read some random verse in the Bible, listen to any worship song, and then beg God to make me happy. And any time that I missed a day or I slept in, I would condemn myself for the rest of the day, telling myself that God doesn't love me. He's disappointed in me because I didn't spend time with Him that morning. And it sucked. It was hard. And I was constantly trying, and I didn't understand why nothing was going right. I was constantly wondering, what am I doing wrong? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get closer to God? How am I supposed to be happy? How am I supposed to live to the fullest like everybody else is doing? And it was hard. And I realized, end of the story, this happened even, don't worry. My first motion night, I rededicated my life February 10th, 2016.
Yeah.
But what I didn't realize at the time was that I was basically living in the Old Testament times. Because during the time of the Old Testament, there was a tabernacle, a temple, and in that temple was a curtain. And you can read about this in Hebrews 9, awesome, by the way. But there was a curtain that separated the world from God, because God is so holy and perfect that He cannot touch anything impure or imperfect, and that's what we are. And so during that time, the only time anybody could go on the other side of this curtain was when once a year the Most High Priest would go in and pay an animal sacrifice for his sins and the sins of the people. And this is what it was like. And people had to constantly try to live these perfect lives, and they were constantly on their toes trying to be perfect. And I feel like that's how we live our lives. Because most of you know the story. It wasn't supposed to be like that forever. God sent down His perfect Son to live a perfect life so that He could die for our sins, and His perfect blood was shed for us and we were washed clean.
Yeah. That's good.
And I was reading in Matthew, and this is what I wanted to share with y'all. In Matthew 27, 50 through 51, it says, and this is when Jesus died on the cross, it says, and when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, He gave up His spirit. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. So the very thing that was separating us from God was torn in two, and now there should be nothing holding us back.
Yeah, come on.
But I see, and I know some of you are thinking, well, Olivia, we already heard this. In fact, Christian already preached a little bit on it. And, well, either we have forgotten or we take it for granted, because I see so many people living their lives with this religious mindset, thinking that they have to be perfect, that they have to do everything right. And if they screw up, then that's it. And that it's not supposed to be that way. Yeah. And so I didn't really know how to title this message except what to do when you feel far from God. Because the curtain was torn in two, what separates us is now gone, and there should be nothing holding us back. But sometimes people live their lives, and I know I definitely have, where I'm keeping something's holding me back. And I think that's the first step, is to ask yourself, ask God, what's holding me back? What's keeping me from you? It could be a friend group, it could be a certain environment, or social media, the things that you watch, or the things that you listen to. Or it could be your thoughts of doubt, insecurity. And I believe the next step, once you figure that out, is to surrender. And so many people think that surrender is defeat, but it's really just an act of giving him control.
Yeah, that's good. Come on.
Because as a father, I don't think it makes him any more happier than to see his child look at him and say, I give up. I give this to you.
Yeah.
I'm putting you first in my life. I'm giving you control.
So good.
And as a child, there is nothing more freeing.
That's good. Come
And so
on.
that's what I wanted to encourage you all with, to step over that line of what once separated us, to surrender and to rest in him. Because it's about relationship, not religion.
That's good. Yeah.
And with every head bowed and every eyes closed, I feel like if there are some people here, you've never given your life to Jesus, or maybe you do feel far from God. If you want to give your life to him, then I just want to ask you to raise your hand. That's awesome. Okay, well, there is no magic prayer, but you can just whisper this in your heart and pray something like this. Say, God, thank you. Thank you for sending your son down to die for my sins. Thank you for washing me clean. Jesus, you are Lord. I put you first in my life. And I want to live my life for you. And I want to live my life with a relationship with you. In Jesus' name. And I'm just going to pray a blessing over y'all, and then we can go into community groups. God, thank you so much for this opportunity. I thank you that this is your message, not mine, that I am the speaker to your microphone. I thank you for all these students here. And I pray that you touch them tonight. And I pray that they will all get home safe, and that these community groups will be something that this city group has never been before. And I thank you for it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.